Hey, what's up, YouTube? Dexter and Tanya here. What's going on, guys? Happy Saturday evening to you. So, Tanya and I are going to come with some more amazing information out of the
Think and
book
Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. What's up, Tanya?
All right, what's
You
going
ready to get
on?
in?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to blast this thing off.
Let's go, let's
But
go.
before we begin, guys, make sure you hit the subscription button and subscribe to our channel so you can know that when we go live and share some of this great information. Check this out. All right, so we're going to talk about a little excerpt from the book Think and Grow Rich. There's a quote by William Ernest Henley, and in that quote, he says, "You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul." Because when Henley wrote the prophetic lines, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul," he should have informed us that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls, because we have the power to control our thoughts. He should have told us that let's see, it's in my phone. He should have told us that either in which this little earth floats, in which we move and have our being, in a form of energy moving in inconceivably high rate of vibration, and that ether is filled with the form of universal power, which adapts itself to the nature of the thoughts we hold in our minds. This is loaded.
It really
And
is.
influences us in natural ways to transmute our thoughts into their physical equivalent. Now, what I said earlier, I mispronounced that word. He says he should have told us that the ether in which this little earth floats, in which we move and have our being, is a form of energy moving in a conceivably high rate of vibration. So there's like two more paragraphs I can read. You want to keep going or stop there? You want to keep going?
I do.
It's so powerful. All right, now, because it's so
I
loaded.
wanna keep
All
going. What
so,
about you?
Look, yeah. So if the poet had
Just
told us
listen. Just
of
listen.
this great truth, we would know why it is that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls. He should have told us with great emphasis that this power makes no attempt to discriminate between destructive thoughts and constructive thoughts. Loaded. Wow. That it will urge us to translate into physical reality thoughts of poverty just as quickly as it will to influence us to act upon the thoughts of riches. Tanya and I have heard in our mentors years ago, it's easier to make a lot of money than it is to make a little bit of money,
bit.
right? So that's what talks about that.
Right.
He should have told us too that our brains become magnetized with the dominating thoughts which we hold in our minds, and by means with which no man is familiar, these magnets attract to us the forces, the people, the circumstances of life which harmonize with the nature of our dominating thoughts. Last paragraph. He should have told us that before we can accumulate riches in great abundance, we must magnetize our minds with intense desire for riches, that we must become money conscious until the desire for money drives
Money
us to
conscious.
create definite plans for acquiring it.
Yes, come on.
Wow. Okay, that's it.
It is.
So now we're going to expound a little bit, then we're going to go, but good God, Tanya. Okay, where you want to start?
I don't even really know, but that's what I was saying to you.
I mean, just come on.
No,
Bring it, Tanya.
hold on.
Bring it.
Because that's what I was saying. I'm like, this right here, it is
Let me
so
lift your mic
loaded.
up.
Okay,
Right.
it is so loaded, and I do hope and pray that as you were listening, that it kind of got your baby jumping too. But so much power in this, and I love it because it comes back to talk about who we are. And those who know me, I am one to say, we have powers. I tell people, we're a superhero, right? With the things that we're able to do, being
you've said
created,
that a lot.
being
Yeah.
created in the image of God, Him giving us dominion in the earth. And listen to what they said here. He says, here where the ether is in this little earth. And I'm like, because we're so tiny in comparison to this great universe that we have, all created by God, where He basically unloads His abilities in us, being created in His image. And it all comes back to our thoughts. it comes back to what he even says
Yeah.
here is it's what you think first that's actually created. But I want you to understand something. There's a fuse here. That fuse is desire. So
Yeah.
this is a part of who we are. What do you desire? Because whatever it is that you're desiring, when it's strong, I will tell you this. What you desire, you think about. I really want you to understand something.
That's deep.
Because there are things that we want. There are things like, I really want that. But as it stated, in your head, it doesn't know the difference between what you really want and what you're telling it that you want. And desire is read by the brain, because the brain and the mind are two different entities, but your brain listens to what the mind puts out. And when you go back to your thoughts, and if your thoughts are pretty much wrapped up into what's going on, what I really don't want, but that's what I'm thinking about a lot, and I got a bunch of passion behind it, then your brain is going to follow suit and your behavior is going to line up with it.
Yeah.
Boy, I hope you understand what it is that I'm saying. I'm going to be quiet, Dexter, so you can come
that's
on in
good.
here. But that's the thing that you have to understand. Your desire is released by E equals MC squared. and that's what that's saying.
Yeah.
E is energy, equals mass and the speed of light. Energy is mass and the speed
good.
of light. E equals MC squared. And it's that entity within ourselves that creates. So your life, you are literally creating everything that's happening and going on in your life.
That's
It's
good.
a superpower.
That's good.
It's
It is
a
a superpower. And, just to piggyback on that, so we're going to unwrap this just a few more minutes. But so he said, the ether in which this little earth floats is a form of energy moving at an inconceivably high rate of vibration. We don't even know, right?
Can you imagine?
And that ether is filled with a form of universal power which adapts itself to the nature of our thoughts that we hold in our mind. So if Robert Frost, two roads diverged in a single wood, and I took the one less traveled by, that's made all the difference, right? That's a quote that I love. But if your mind goes down the road of poverty, then you're going to vibrate poverty to you. But if it goes down the road of riches and wealth, then you're going to vibrate that to yourself as well.
Right.
In natural ways to transmute our thoughts into their physical equivalent, right? We should know why it is that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls. He should have told us with great emphasis that this power makes no attempt. So, okay, this power makes no attempt to discriminate between destructive and constructive thoughts, that it will urge us to translate into physical reality thoughts of poverty just as quickly as it will for riches.
Just as quickly.
Just as quickly. So look, we wanted to just stop by, leave you a message to tell you guys, look, our thoughts, our thinking, the thinking that has brought us this far has created some challenges that the same level of thinking can't solve. We are now looking at the power that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our soul. So that which you see, you're vibrating to yourself because of your thinking. I don't know if does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a
You're
whole
seeing
lot
it.
of sense.
That's why you're seeing it, because you're thinking it.
Right.
So powerful.
I could just stay here.
It's powerful.
With such a desire just for understanding, for all
Yeah.
of us, for everyone that's watching, those who are in your circle and so forth. Are there changes that you want in your life? Are you looking, and do you desire to be in a position where money isn't an option? The Word of God tells us that money answers all things.
Yeah.
So, we're like, Lord, send the answer. So do you want God to send you the answer? So the thing is, do you believe for it? Do you know and understand your power and the ability to create it. And even as it states right here, we do hear from our mentors now all the time. When I first heard it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But it is so true, where it is so much easier to make a lot of money than it is to make a little bit. And even as it states here, did you hear that? Where he says to us, which we have found to be very, very true, okay? Also saying to us right here that when it comes down to making money, again, easier to make a lot than it is to make a little bit, but that is not hard. I don't know if you caught that. It's
good.
not hard, okay? It's easier to even do that. So how many of you are mindful of that? And I'll say to you, just as I had to do for myself, when I first heard it, I blocked it. I'm like, there's no way. So how in the world could I ever do anything like that if I didn't even believe for it?
Right.
And if I didn't believe for it, what were my thoughts telling me? That it wasn't possible. And since my thoughts were telling me that it wasn't possible, where these thoughts are moving at the speed of light, guess what lined up with it? My behavior. So
That's
the
good.
decisions that I began to make was all patterned behind the thought to my actions, and then it produced that in my life, which was really nothing.
That's
Or
good.
nothing that I wanted.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That's good.
So come on, y'all. You
That's
know,
good. That's
grab
good.
hold of these principles and put them into action and live.
Yeah, that's good. So look, I'm gonna share this little part too.
Live.
We just read this, but our brains become magnetized with the dominating thoughts which we hold in our minds, and by means with which no man is familiar, these magnets attract to us the forces, the people, the circumstances of life which harmonize with the nature of our dominating thoughts. It all starts here. That's why Tanya and I, one of the things about the upgraders is we talk about mindset development a lot. That's why we're personal development experts. Did you hear this? Our brains are magnetized with the dominating thoughts that we hold. Now, so think about this. Yeah, think about this for a
A
moment.
magnet.
The people
A
and the
magnet.
circumstances that just show up in your life is because you thought something and you magnetize that thought. That's why, as I mentioned earlier about poverty and riches, if our minds are magnetized towards poverty, then that's all we'll see. But the moment that, just like a GPS, the moment we make the turn to say, I'm going to start thinking about the wealth that I can accumulate, the thoughts in my head, forget poverty. Let me start thinking about
Come on.
my gift,
Oh,
my
catch it.
talents. Let me move in that.
Yes.
And the moment you start moving in that realm, then phone call comes, email comes, text message comes. What perceivably may be out of the blue to us in our limited thinking is not out of the blue. We have magnetized that. And now it's in harmony with what we're thinking. So, guys, let's think it, man. Let's go. We're
Yes.
talking again out of the book, Think and Grow Rich. This is a very powerful teaching we wanted to come and just share with you for a few minutes. You good?
I could keep going, but I mean, if
We
we don't want
could.
to hold you too long, come back and see us. Spend some more time with us.
We'll be
okay?
back.
We're going to continue to drop the knowledge, and we want a transfer of learning to take place. But at the same time, we want to hear your results. Because if you truly can grab hold to the things that we're talking about, the things that we're sharing, go ahead, look at other things that we have here. I'm telling you, we're telling you, your life will literally change. Ours did. You know, it felt really good to enter into a place in our lives where I didn't have to tell my children
good,
no.
Tanya.
Not because it's like, no, you just don't need that right now, but it was more so because I don't have it to give it to you. You know, putting ourselves in a position where we're able to do things and go places that we weren't able to do before.
Yeah.
But it all came with a change of mind.
Yeah.
So, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you know, and we'll end with
We
this.
do.
We're going to end with this example. Tanya, this just popped in my head.
Yeah.
So Tanya and I, in our front yard, it slopes. It slopes a great deal to the right side. If you're standing on the front porch, the yard, the landscape goes down to the right. So we were talking about it, and I started thinking, man, you know, at some point it would be nice to have some dirt brought in, and let's build a retaining wall on the right side to lift that side of the house in the front yard up so that we can now enjoy the front yard like we do the backyard. Just thinking. We talked about it. Just thinking. Talked about it. just thinking, not, we didn't put a date on when we'll get it done. But I left the house, drove up the street, and what did I see at the stop sign? The house across the street was having dirt brought in from a dump truck. And I said, wow, it's no coincidences. It's the magnetized thinking. So what I pulled off to the side, went and got the guy's car and said, hey, what would, we discussed what it would cost to bring some dirt in, to dump it in my front yard, all that kind of stuff. He said, hey, man, give me a call when you're ready. There's no coincidence. It's what I was thinking. It's what we were discussing. And I magnetized that thought, right, with desire, and things started falling into place. So this is very powerful information. Wherever you're watching this, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, share this information with people so that they're able to start getting some of this stuff. We're going to be back and keep talking about it, but it's so powerful. And now is the perfect time with everything going on in the world with the pandemic, and they're always talking about what virus is coming and what this, that, and the third, the Great Recession. People are looking for jobs, so many jobs available. Now it's time for you to magnetize your thinking in the area of what you want to accomplish, and you're going to see it. Anything else, Tanya?
Oh, I think that's good.
That's good.
Stick
Thank
with
you.
us.
Stick with us, guys. So listen, make sure you subscribe to our channel, The Upgraders. We're going to be back talking about some more powerful information. Our tagline, as we always share, is we may not know you,
But we know what's in you.
all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Make sure you share this with others. Tell them to come join us. All right, see you later.